Hello, welcome to the Climbing Consciousness. Today I'm going to talk about having ground posts in your life. And what I mean by ground posts are things that underlie your life as constants amidst all the hecticness and all the unpredictability of everyday life. An example of a ground post can be you lift weights every week. You meditate every morning. You go for a 10-minute walk every day. You read 30 minutes of a book every night. These are just examples, but it's really profound how having a ground post in your life, having something that you do, and you know you're going to do that, no matter what life circumstances are going on around you, no matter if you're in a good place in life, a bad place in life, if things are working out for you, if things are working against you, if you're on top of your game, if you're not on your game, you know you're still going to do that activity that you do every day. I'll give an example from me. I meditate every morning. I do 15 minutes of meditation every morning, usually as soon as I wake up. There are some days when I slack, but that serves as a ground post for me, and it's served as a ground post for me for the last 4 or 5 years, where it gives me that, it gives me the foot to start on every day, where instead of waking up and just running out the door, metaphorically, and going headfirst into everything that I'm trying to do as soon as I wake up, I know, okay, well, I meditate every morning. That's the first thing I do. And I know over time, the effects are hard to see day to day, but over the span of a couple years, I can just see how profound that change has been in my life, and how it's allowed me to not only handle what's going on in my life, but enjoy it more and go with the flow of the events, and even get excited for events that in the past they would be nothing but stressful for me. Just because I think I had some semblance of constancy. I have a similar kind of ground post with exercise in general. I try to have some kind of exercise routine. I lifted weights for a long time, and that was my ground post, where every day I knew I would be in a weight room. Nowadays, I spend a lot more time doing cardio exercise and body weight workouts, but those kind of workouts still takes up a good hour, and I usually know, especially if it's a weekday, at some point during this day I'm going to have an hour of exercise. And I've done that for the last couple of years. I mean, for more than that, for the last, really back at least 8 years. And I can speak from my own standpoint that those things, meditating and exercising, the constants, they served like rocks to me over the years. Through the good times and bad times, through the great successes and the lows, they've served as a go-to amidst all situations, and it's helped me so much just to keep perspective on life as a whole, and not get totally lost in my specific plan. Having a ground post is like having a dependent, in a way. It's kind of like having someone or something that you must attend to. Like if you have a pet or a child and nobody else cares for it but you. Having a ground post kind of serves like a dependent for you if you don't have one, or if you do have one. But for me, I don't have any direct dependence. And I know having a ground post, like meditating every morning, it kind of serves to me like having a dependent. In the sense that it is something that I've devoted in my head, I've devoted mentally that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that every day. So it helps to pull down on my reins. So if I get caught up in something, if I get too excited about something, it's kind of that thing that pulls down the reins and helps me to not go over the edge. Where somebody, similarly to somebody if they had a child, if they got too lost in what they were doing, there's that fine line between going after what you are trying to do and getting totally immersed in your plan and knowing that there is a child who needs you and only you. So you have to keep balancing to know that, okay, no matter how wild this idea gets, this child needs me. And that devotion is always there. So it's always like, it's keeping you in check, really. So I find ground posts to be a very good way to keep yourself in check. Definitely. They can also keep you in check in the opposite way of helping to push you a little more. If you're kind of in a state where you're a little maybe too afraid to go after something, if you're too hesitant or doubtful or cautious, setting up ground posts, it helps to establish confidence, because no matter what it is, no matter how easy or hard, you're doing something. And when you know that you're doing something and you continue to be consistent doing something, it builds your confidence, even if it's incredibly easy, even if it's, let's read 5 pages every morning. You know, that is something that is fairly easy to do, but it still requires a commitment to do it. And I think if you have a ground post set up, and if you have a commitment to something in your life, no matter how small or big, it helps you to build confidence, inner confidence, and it helps you to develop a sense of commitment. And having that higher level of confidence will more enable you to go out in the world and go after things more freely. Because if you have ground posts set up, you have your foundation, and your attachment to what you're going after decreases. Because you know that whether you, hypothetically, whether you get this job or not, you're still going to meditate tomorrow. Whether you get a good grade on this paper or not, you're going to run tomorrow. So it starts to just level out the importance of these things. When you have a commitment to something that you are going to do, no matter what the outside circumstances give you. So I really wanted to share this because having the consistent things in life definitely have been a great asset to me, and I think they would be to anybody.